Monday. I am so happy you're here with us today. As you're joining in, say hello in the comments. I would love to see you and see what companies we have in the house. If you were celebrating Easter yesterday, hope you had a lovely day. We had a jam-packed weekend from a wedding to multiple Easter celebrations to baseball games, all the things. So joining here on a Monday thinking, oh man, we got a big week ahead of us too. Lots going on. I'm really excited to go see my friends at Senegens on Thursday. Headed out there for the weekend for seminars. So I'll see you all in Oklahoma. And also got an action-packed week happening inside the academy too. We finished up our systems reboot last week. It was a huge success. Systems are set up. We are feeling ready for spring into summer. Just so much good stuff shaking across the board. So as you're joining in, say hello. We are live over on Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and share this on Facebook. We should be on YouTube and LinkedIn all at the same time. I love it. Perfect. Okay, let me go ahead and share. We're going to share this to our Modern Direct Seller Tribe, your spot to grow your direct sales biz, totally free group over on Facebook. You're welcome to pop into that. And then also inside our Modern Direct Seller Academy for our incredible members. So today, let me share that. There we go. All the places, we're good to go. So today, excited to talk a little bit about what's hot and what's not here on social media. I think that, so many of us spend time trying to kind of figure out what's going on with the algorithm today and what kind of content is going to land well and where we're going to get the most engagement and kind of playing this. It's a little bit of a game here on social, right? Trying to kind of figure out what's working and where we put our energy. And so we're maximizing the amount of engagement and interaction and connections that we're making on social. So I thought what I would do today is just share 5 things that I'm seeing really working well, kind of the what's hot on social media for you to maybe work into your plan as you're going about your week this week, or you're finishing up April, thinking about these things. Social media is a big topic. So I'm narrowing it down to 5, but I'm keeping it super, super tactical for you today. So like I said, as you're planning things out, you can just take it and run with it. So yay, Tokara in the house. Hey, Jamie, good to see you. So glad you are here. Oh, my bestie's here. Hey, Lucelina. I just saw her a minute ago as we were taking kids to school. So good. Okay, so let's talk about number 1, what's working. I'm going to talk first about Facebook. So those big, bold background posts are still working really, really well. So if you're looking, you got to keep it short. You got to keep it sweet. It's like 1 to 2 sentences, very few characters, but pick the big, bold background. Last time I checked, they added a bunch of new colors, which is always fun too. And then it's just going to be a clear sentence or question. So I would try something like, if I blank, would you be interested? So if I was to be sending out samples tomorrow, would you like one? If I was to host a pop-up event on Saturday, would you like to stop by? If I was doing a giveaway in my group, would you be interested in checking it out? You guys following me on this, right? So a really, really simple sentence, big words, bold background, works great on Facebook. If I was to do this, would you be interested? That's it. That's it. Pretty easy, right? I kind of love this kind of social content because you don't have to go create a fancy graphic. You don't have to record a reel. You don't have to do any kind of dancing. You don't have to do anything crazy. But just, if I was to do this, would you be interested? And what that's going to do is allow people to raise their hand and say, yeah, I am interested. And so then you can go follow up directly with each of those people and offer them whatever you have going on. So that would be a great one to test out this week, no matter what you have going on here mid-month as you're wrapping up April. If I had this going on, would you be interested? And then direct follow-up messages with those people. Okay, number 2 on the what's hot list is whether you're on Facebook or Instagram, definitely leaning in to your stories. Now, stories are a great place to experiment with your content because they only last for 24 hours. They come and they go. So, even if you're thinking, oh, I might sprinkle in a little bit more personal, or oh, maybe I'll try using one of those stickers, or maybe I'll record something and ask if people are interested. This gives you to kind of get a pulse on your people. Plus, your stories are typically being viewed by people that are already following you, right? They're kind of already in your warm network. They're already connected to you. So that's a great place to engage with people. Give people a peek behind the scenes of what you have going on, right? And one quick tip on stories is while you might be one of those people that like to have stories kind of in the background all the time, 24/7, like kudos to you. I'm typically not that way, to be honest. Life happens, things are going on, and I forget to post for a couple days, then I come back a couple days later. So actually having a break in your stories creates kind of pushes your story back to the beginning, you could say. So rather than always having a story going, it's okay to take a day off or let them expire and then start another round of stories. Because when you start that next round, that's just going to kind of put you in front of the line pass, right? So when you're thinking about the stories, don't feel like you always have to have something happening all the time. But even if 2 or 3 times a week you're posting a good series of stories, that's going to still kind of boost your engagement. So like anything on social, do what you're able to do. We're not full-time content social media managers, right? So pick and choose what's going to work for you. And one thing that works well for me is like a weekend recap. I did that last night, right? I'm like, okay, this weekend was jam-packed. We had a lot going on. So I'm just going to dump all of my photos from the last couple of days in one big series of stories. Then I'll probably wait till that expires and then maybe do another round of stories. So when you're thinking about scheduling those or you're thinking about showing up, like it's okay to have a little bit of a break. And so it resets and starts over. Okay. Number 3 on the what's hot list for social media is actually something I do a lot between my personal account and my business account. And that would be a collaborative reel or short form video. So this is great because you're creating the content once and it's showing up on multiple platforms. So while I'm kind of collaborating with myself over here, you can absolutely collaborate with someone else. So when you're thinking about your team or your customers, or maybe if you're doing a pop-up or a partnership or a collaboration with another small business owner, you can absolutely create a reel together. Mark it as a collaborative post. It's going to show up on both of your accounts at the same time, and that's going to go ahead and increase your engagement. So if you haven't tried a collaborative reel, it's a lot of fun and it'll show up again on both of your accounts. And so you're getting visibility in both places. So a great way just to kind of give yourself a little bit extra. I mean, of course, short form video, it's still super hot. I wasn't even going to put that on the list because I think we all know short form video, TikToks, reels, quick, short, people want it in 7 seconds, right? So that is still definitely trending. Video is still trending. And then that collaborative reel might be something that you can try, and you can do that on Instagram and you can do that on Facebook. So you have options of where you're sharing that content. But if you haven't tried that, that's something that I would definitely give it a shot and see how that looks for you. Like I said, I often do this between my personal account and my business account. And so I'm reaching across both of those places at the same time. Okay, four, number four is to get a little personal on social. I know this, we've been talking about this for years and years and years about building your personal brand, showing up as your true and authentic self. And sometimes we just get in the zone, right? Where we're just like, we're so busy with our business and what's happening. We kind of forget to sprinkle in the personal stuff. So people love the personal stuff. That's why they're on social, is they really want to see the behind the scenes. They want to see the real, the raw, the authentic, the genuine, even if it's not super polished, right? So as you're thinking about your content plan and how you're showing up on social, definitely think about weaving in a little bit more personal content and just look at how the engagement changes, especially if you've only been posting business content and then you start sprinkling in a little bit more personal, I think you're going to see a really nice lift in engagement and capture some people that weren't paying attention when it was just business content. So that could be a couple examples I'll actually give you that I've done lately. Jeremy and I put together a pretty silly reel about how we run our business together. And it's still business focused, but it's more personality based. Like I'm the visionary and the talker, and I have words and things to say, and he's the focused, analytical one. And we put together, actually, Mackenzie directed us, my daughter, my 12-year-old. But you can definitely create like some fun content in that area. And then the other one is just dropping in family photos. If you have family photos, if you were doing things over the weekend for Easter, like sprinkle in some personal in there. I know I shared in my stories the other day how I was having hives all over, and I so many people reach out being like, oh my gosh, have you tried this? Or I have the same thing going on. So sometimes when we're feeling like, oh gosh, nobody really wants to hear about this, people actually really do. So here's your friendly reminder to bring in a little bit more personality, a little bit more personal content into your business content, and just kind of look and see how your engagement grows as you're working in that personal content. So there's another one for you. And then number 5 on my what's hot list is definitely selling in the DMs and selling in the stories. And this one has been a trend for a while now. But again, a reminder, if you're using your feed or your profile or your main posts with sales content, people are going to start tuning you out. So you can tease things, you can invite people to things, you can talk about your business. But if it's a straight call to action to buy, my recommendation is to move those into your stories and have a link where they can go straight there, or your direct messages, right? Direct messages are gold. That's really your number one goal, is to get people commenting, engaging on social, and then moving it into a direct message. And so then you can continue the conversation there. And that's the right spot to ask somebody for a sale. So as you're thinking about social and all the things that you have going on, those are a couple things that I'm seeing right now that are really hot, really working on social. This could all change tomorrow. We don't really know how social media is going to work for us, but I will say that some of these things are kind of tried and true, consistent. I've seen over the last months or even years on some of these topics that they're definitely trending and here to stay. And the other thing I'll mention is that Jen with CintShare came onto my podcast not that long ago, and we did an episode all around what was working on social. So if you haven't had a chance to check out that episode, that is a great one. Let me tell you the episode number so you can grab it and check it out. It was episode 230, where we talk about what's working on social. And Jen shared some really interesting ideas around doing more on Threads. That was one of my aha moments from that podcast, that I haven't done a whole lot in Threads, like got a pretty good presence on Facebook and Instagram. We're growing a little bit over on TikTok if you want to come hang out with us over there. And we got our YouTube channel and all that. But she talked a lot about Threads and how it's such a great platform for somebody that's looking to expand, to reach new audiences. And it doesn't require like huge produced short form video. A lot of it is text based, and a lot of that you could schedule some really great conversation starters using CintShare. So she just dropped a lot of really great tips. And of course, we talked about kind of like Facebook fatigue and groups and how some of those things have changed over the last year. So if you're looking to expand your platforms, expand your reach, and that's some of your goals this spring rolling into the summer before fall selling season really starts taking off, definitely take a look at Threads. I know that I'm going to go play around a little bit over there and experiment a little bit more on Threads. But she shared some really great ideas on that episode. So definitely check it out. And of course, if you're not hanging out with us inside the Modern Direct Seller Academy, come hang out with us over there. We are, like I said, we just wrapped up our systems reboot. It was 5 days. If you missed any of it, it is all available on demand, on replay, right there in your courses. And as we shift into May, really excited to share some strategies on collaboration. So we have a May we collaborate. May you collaborate. May I collaborate. May we collaborate in May. That is all happening here in the next couple of weeks. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with, in case you haven't checked it out, we have a brand new workshop coming at you on how to build a website that works for you in your sleep. You can save your spot at ohmyhigh.com/workshop. And that's happening on April 30th. So just over a week away on that too. Sure. All right. Bye, you guys. Have a good one. See you later.